name is June Lunette Johnson, and I'm the project manager for the project The Griot in Me. Hi everyone, my name is Kylie Johnson. I am co-manager of the Griot in Me project. I work on managing the social team that deals with all of the marketing stuff, as well as the writing part in terms of the archival guide booklet that we will be creating. I'm super excited to be a part of the Griot in Me due to the fact that it's all about, the Griot is about storytelling. And we as Black people in Canada, this is our opportunity to tell our story. I think that people feel that there's not a lot of Black people in Canada, and if we are here, that we're under a rock, but we're here and we're thriving in media, as professionals, as lawyers, doctors, dentists, as business owners, and as community builders. We are very much involved in the nation's capital. And this project is a way for us as Canadians and people in Ottawa to share our story, not just with people who live in our community, but for Canadians who look like me, who may think that their story doesn't matter. But in reality, it does. The Griot in Me is a project that was created to sustain and strengthen the Black Canadian archive in the National Capital Region. It's about preserving legacy, passing down knowledge, but also creating that sense of remembrance and trying to get Black Canadians to understand where they come from so that they're able to better represent themselves and to know who they are. When I think of the Griot in Me, I think of a way for Canadians to get their voices across. We always hear at Black History Month about great American leaders. There's nothing wrong with hearing about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and things like that, but I would love to know way more about the Black Canadians who've done so much for us. This project is important to me because it means that we are educating and equipping Black Canadians with knowledge on who they are and where they come from. And I think ultimately it will inspire the younger generation and show them the resilience of their ancestors. And it will also create like concrete information, so that way we'll be like embedded in Canadian history. I also think it gives us control of the narrative. A lot of the times we're not in control of the perspective that's always being talked about in terms of us. So I think that this allows us to show people who we really are. So how are we going to build this? This is a great question. We're moving into a digital era where everything we can find on the World Wide Web. So this project is no different. We'll be doing the same thing with the Griot in Me. Not only you can find us on our Facebook, on Instagram, and our YouTube channel, as well as Twitter, you'll also be able to find our website. Our website will be able to search restaurants, businesses, community leaders, also entertainers, from DJs, singers, dancers. Why? Because we need a centralized area for people of color to go. When they come to Ottawa, you have a better idea and a better understanding of where people like you and I go to. So, the Griot in Me is a very, very great project for the city of Ottawa, being that this is the national capital, and we do not have a place where Black people can go where it's all there. You can find what you need if you're new to Ottawa, new immigrant, or maybe you've been in the city for a long time and you've lost track of all the new businesses that are here in Ottawa, all the community leaders, events that may be taking place. This is the Griot in Me. So right now, what we need from you is the community to send us pictures, bio, so that we can archive this. Not just on paper, but digitally. If you want to stay up to date with the Griot in Me project, you want to know what we're archiving, you want to know new events that we're having, or just what's happening with us, follow us on social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Everything is at the Griot and Me Project. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We have a lot of great events lined up for the next few months as this project starts to launch in full capacity. We have also a lot of great information that we're collecting about this great city that we call Ottawa. So we look forward to meeting you and hearing your story because there's a Griot all around.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for watching. My name is Nathalie Chéry, and I had the pleasure of working at the Griot in Me for the past few months. Despite all the challenges of the pandemic, we are grateful to our partners who helped us rethink and set up the Griot in Me training program for the youth of the Gatineau, Ottawa community. Today, our young youth, our young griots, are in the spotlight, and we congratulate them on their hard work and success. This project is an enriching experience that teaches us the importance of being heard, because by valuing the contributions of Black Canadian leaders in our community, we put forward great men and women who are capable of inspiring the next generation.
Hello, everyone. My apologies. My mic was muted. Like I said, I was muted. My name is Alan, and I will thank you so much, Natalie, by the way, for that introduction. And I'll be doing the same thing in French. Je parle français aussi. Bonjour à tous et merci d'être venus. Je m'appelle Alain et j'ai eu le plaisir de travailler chez Le Grand Moi comme ma collègue Nathalie Chéry ces derniers mois. Malgré tous les défis de la pandémie, nous sommes reconnaissants envers nos partenaires qui nous ont aidés à repenser et à mettre sur pied la formation du Griot en Moi pour les jeunes de Gatineau et d'Ottawa. Aujourd'hui, nos jeunes griots sont à l'honneur et nous leur félicitons pour leur travail acharné et leur succès. Ce projet est une expérience enrichissante qui nous apprend l'importance d'être entendus en valorisant la contribution des leaders noirs canadiens dans notre communauté et que nous mettons en avant, qui mettent en avant de grands hommes et de femmes capables d'inspirer la génération future. Et donc maintenant, j'aimerais bien vous présenter Luc Termonville, le président de l'organisation ABEPOG, et aussi le directeur du projet Le Grand Moi. Je m'excuse, Luc, il semble que votre micro est sur mute. Est-ce que vous pouvez... Voilà, c'est parfait.
Merci beaucoup, Alain. Merci, Nathalie. Sorry about that. Sometimes, we're in the back, we're trying, but at least we have it. That's good. Thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Luke from ABEPOG. I'm the president. This year, this project was an amazing project. And that's the first project I always tell people I have a lot of fun to do, because the way people was telling their story and everything, learn about Ottawa, that was so much for me. It was a rich story. ABEPOG, just to talk, ABEPOG is the Association of Entrepreneur and Professional of Ottawa, age from 16 to 29. If you're a youth, you're looking for experience, leadership, and community service, our organization were there to help. This project was financed by thanks for the Government of Canada and the Ottawa City and the BIE Media to help us to accomplish this project. Just to let you know, this project for the whole 6 months, with all the challenge we get, with the school closing and now with COVID, we're able to create 56 videos, one website, and one database, and 2 collection and 2 exhibition. You can go to our website. You can see all those work. And also, I would like to graduate all the youth who were able to participate to this project. And also, I will say another thank you to Jaco Combit to able to help us to make this happen. Thank you very much. I will pass to Ken Campbell, the president of Jaco Combit. Thank you. Have a good night.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to all the youth and everyone that is on. First of all, I would like to just to let you know that unfortunately, I won't be able to stay for the whole graduation. I have another meeting at 6:30, but I will stick around until then. First, I would like to congratulate all the youth who participate with BI Media for this summer job placement. Thank you all for successfully completing it. And from what I heard, the feedback, it was a wonderful experience for all of you. We are very pleased to be able to work with BI Media and Jaco Combit to make this happen. It is something that is very important to Jaco Combit to support Black youth and their family within the Ottawa community. We have been doing that for many years. And so this summer was a challenge, as we normally have a summer camp that goes for 7 weeks, and we have lots of activities. I have young people who work as youth camp counselor, but because of COVID-19, we did not have the camp, but we still want to maintain the opportunity to find work experience for Black youth. And we were able to, through collaboration with BI Media and through that kind of partnership, able to make it work. So altogether, we were 22 youth from the Black community that we were able to find work experience. A number of those youth were with BI Media, and 7 of those youth work with Jaco Combit. So I think that we both did a great job. The word Combit in the name Jaco Combit means working together. And in order for us to be successful as a community, even as an individual, we have to work as a team. We have to work with one another. We have to work in partnership and in support of each other. And so we are very pleased about that. So I want to say to the youth that the job that you have at BI Media is very unique. It is something that we shouldn't take lightly. It's very important. Every Saturday, Professor Clyde Ledbetter talk about African history. And he always began his first class by talking about where is the source for this information. We can have it in writing. We can find it in archaeology. We look back. And oftentimes when you talk about African history, a lot of the sources coming from the Greeks, the Romans writing, those people that leave a record. And oftentimes it's not records that is in the best interest of our people. So it's very important for us, especially young people, to take the lead, to be the narrator, the one who can speak their cultural truth, talk about their history, talk about their heritage, because the more we learn about it, is the more we have authority to explain it and to share it with future youth and future generation. If you don't know your history, you can't know your future, because the future is connected to the present, which is connected to the past. So I think just by doing your own archives at your own level, whether it be about your own family, your community, or businesses in Ottawa, is a great accomplishment. And I would love to see this project continue to grow and to develop, so that years from now, anyone who comes to Ottawa want to learn about the first Black-owned grocery stores, or the first Black newspaper in Ottawa, or whoever have accomplished something, they have an archive they can go to and they can look and they can learn, because the history will be there, and it's a history that is told, written, and spoken of by our own community. So I think this job that you had and the fact that you guys rise to the occasion, you have to be commended. And I want to congratulate all of you for the great job that you did, and thank BI Media for taking the lead on this and for inviting Jaco Combit to be a part of it. We are very pleased, because we're all about Africans helping Africans. So again, thank you all for the wonderful work you do. And I'm definitely looking forward to see some of the clips, some of the archives that you put together, because it would be a learning experience for myself as well. So again, congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken, for your contribution. Now I'm inviting Dr. Clyde Ledbetter, who was the head teacher of the training for the Griot in Me, to say a few words.
Maintenant, nous aimerions inviter Dr. Clyde Ledbetter, le professeur qui a aidé vraiment les jeunes à travers leur expérience avec nous chez le Griot en Moi.
Okay. Thank you, Natalie and Alan, and Tim and Luke for speaking. And it was a pleasure and a privilege to facilitate this summer program with these 12 amazing youth. I was blown away for the 6 weeks that I got to work with them and see their vision for our future, for the future of this archive, and how they thought about it and how they really made history this summer. They laid the foundations for an archive, the Griot in Me archive, that will serve our community for generations to come. So while preserving history, they made history. And I'm immensely proud of them. I'm proud of the work that they did, which you all will get to see this evening. A few things about what we did this summer. We started by putting a call out to the youth of the community. And I'm sure many of them just thought, okay, well, this would be just another summer job. And I'm glad that we were able to work with the Youth Services Bureau to get these young people paid. It's always good to have a summer job. But it's even better to have a summer job that's actually contributing to your community, actually saving information, that's archiving information, that's creating a space for future generations to come and learn about the history of Afro Ottawa. So we brought these 12 youths together. I got to know them, and we started out by practicing a little Sankofa. We looked back at the past of all the different archives in North America, the African and Afro-descendant founded archives in North America, from the Schomburg collection in Harlem to the Moreland Springard collection at Howard University in DC, to the Charles L. Blockson collection in Philadelphia, and many others. And the youth researched them, and they saw what these archives meant to Black people, what they've done in the communities that they're in, and what they continue to do to this day. They took that information, reflected on it, and there's two groups. One group named after Arturo Schomburg that met on Mondays and Wednesdays, and another group named after John P. Oliver, the founder of the Black Cultural Center in Nova Scotia, who met on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They got together and they reflected on this history, and they thought and they shared amongst themselves, and they came up with their own vision for what they want the Griot in Me to look like 20 years from now. And it's our hope that we're going to work together to make their vision a reality. The youth also engaged in 3 phases of storytelling. That was our model for the 6 weeks that we were together. They learned how to collect stories. So how do you reach out to the community to ask them to give their stories to the archive? How do you write letters for people to make donations and for organizations to make donations? How do you conduct interviews to get the story of Afro Ottawa recorded? How do you collect the story? So they did that successfully. They received numerous positive responses from many of you in the community willing to donate and materials, digital materials, physical materials to this archive, all based on the letters that they wrote expressing their desire to have those materials. They next went on to learn, how do you preserve the stories? So they went from how do you collect the stories to how do you preserve them? They actually learned the basics of archiving. How to take a box of materials that's completely disorganized, and how do you know what to keep and what not to keep, and how do you put it, organize it in such a fashion that researchers coming in the future will be able to take from that raw material the stories that will go into the books of the future and the articles of the future and the documentaries of the future. So they did all of that. They worked with donations from the Errol Walters collection, the Spectrum newspaper, putting those in order, going through each and every one of them, and looking at every story and every picture and every advertisement in those newspapers. we received a donation from a brother in the community, Brother Zaya Kuyena, who donated his collection of the contrast newspapers out of Toronto. And the youth were able to engage with those. And I donated a box from Jaku Kambit that had materials from their mentorship program and their Black Star tutoring programs and all the other programs that Jaku Kambit has facilitated over the past 20 years. Youth were able to get into those materials and look at them and catalog them and prepare them for future research. The last thing that they did was they learned how to tell the story. So they learned how to collect, how to preserve, and how to tell. They received technical training on how to use sites such as this and how to use cameras and other materials to record interviews and present that material. And you'll see a sample of their collective vision of how to present materials to the community. You'll see that tonight. So again, I won't speak long because I really want you all to be engaged with the genius that I was engaged with this summer with these 12 young people. Most of them are either going to university, or starting university now, or finishing up high school. And I can say with full confidence that our community is in good hands. These are genius young people. They're bi and trilingual. They have multiple skills in terms of artistic skills, and they have business acumen and research skills, so many things. And I am, again, humbled and proud to say that I was able to work with them over the 6 weeks we had in the summer, and flew by so fast. With that said, I'll turn it over now to one of the representatives of these 12 young people, Ms. Galila, and she'll give you her perspective as one of this foundational team at the Griot Limited.
Thank you, Dr. Clyde. Hi, everyone. My name is Galila Garemo. I'm originally from Ethiopia, born and raised in Addis Ababa. I'm a student archivist here at the Griot Limited. I currently graduated high school, and I got the opportunity to work for the Griot Limited 2020. Working here for the past 2 months has been a very exciting experience that I ever got here in Canada. Working here has really helped me in many ways. For example, to learn and understand what archiving is and its importance. We had an opportunity to work, to view some of the documents that were archived in our place physically, and also some of the online documents, including newspapers starting from 2003 to 2013. Personally, it created a space where I would be more creative in what I'm doing, including creating different graphic designs, posters, creative writing, and advertisements. And most importantly, it helps us students to know more about our roots. Through my stay, I was able to meet different people around my age. This helped me to increase my knowledge and on a variety of subjects. Everyone in our group has different skills, talents, ideas, and perspectives. Not all of us agree on the same idea. Everyone has their own perspective on how things should be or look like. It helped me better understand why it is very important to open my eyes to different perspectives. I would say all our ideas came in a very beautiful and unique way. What really makes it peculiar about our work experience with the Black community is twofold. First and foremost, this job is the first of its type for most of us, especially to me, which brought a real-life exposure to what practical work looks like. And it helped us as a first-time experience, which will serve as a springboard to different kinds of jobs that we expect to join in the future. The second unique experience that we gained for working with the Griot Limited is that this work was undertaken during the time of COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected all the global community without exception. In this regard, we, the first-time employees of the Griot Limited 2020, have managed to make the necessary precautions to protect ourselves, as well as care for our community and our families. In this regard, it is worth noting how we were very caring and considerate for our employees, work colleagues, and ourselves. One thing that I will personally suggest that employees who have got the chance to do this project should get enough time to learn more about filming, photography, editing, and media production. During our stay, there was a shortage of practice in the areas that I just mentioned above. The pandemic might also be one of the factors that caused this barrier. Therefore, I would like to suggest that this would be improved for the coming employees of the Griot and me. In conclusion, on behalf of my colleagues and that of myself, I would like to extend my appreciation and thanks for the training, guidance, and motivation extended to us from our immediate professor, Dr. Clyde Ledbetter, and his team during our employment period. It was indeed a wonderful experience to get to work with the Griot and me team. We, as a student archivist, wish to extend our sincere thanks and emphasize that we look forward to getting similar opportunities in the future where we can work together again. Thank you everyone who has attended this program and those who are watching through YouTube, VIA Media, and Facebook. Next, I will pass it on to one of the instructors, Ellen.
Wow, thank you so much, Galila, for that awesome speech. Thank you so much. That was very heartfelt. And once again, I'd like to thank also all the participants, Ken Campbell, Dr. Clyde Ledbetter, Ms. Hippolyte, which we will be hearing later on in the course of the event, and also everyone who is tuning in live right now. And so my name is Alan, and I was the videographer here at the Griot and Me project, and I helped in the training of the youth, which was my privilege, and teaching them the fundamentals of filming, recording interviews, how to conduct an interview, the question that should be asked, also with the creation of graphics for the project. And I've been given the honor this evening to present them with their certificates. So without further ado. So first up, students from Team Schomburg. We have Alexandra Butonzi, Abdi Dirie, Galila Geramiu, Jeanette Guzman, Charlotte Mineza, Mary Mercy Mizero, and now students from Team Oliver, Yaya Abdullahi, Giannis Abdullahi, Janessa Emmanuel, Whitney Mambu, Leila Tarmonville, and Nick Pinko. So there you have it. Those were the youth graduates from this year, 2020, graduates of the Youth Mentorship Program on the subject of digital archiving. And now we'd like to showcase some of their work.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jeanette Guman, and today I'll be talking about the Griot and Me and my colleagues' experience at the Griot and Me as student archivist. Hola, me llamo Jeanette Guman y ahí presentación de los Griot y Me. As part of this slide, we will discuss 5 major sections. The first being the Ottawa Black community statistics and research. Then we'll discuss media sources such as spectrum and contrast. Then we'll also discuss some skills we've learned and some collections we were able to gather and how we can appeal to you as a community furthermore. To start, Canada's Black population comes with diverse backgrounds and experiences. While some can trace their roots in Canada for many generations, others have immigrated in recent decades. They have contributed in many ways to the growth, diversity, and development of the country. In 20 years, the Black population has doubled in size, going from just over 500,000 people in 1996 to over 1.1 million people in 2016. The Black population now accounts for over 3.5% of Canada, and according to the population projections from Statistics Canada, the Black population would continue to increase and represent between 5 to 6% of Canada's population by 2036. This population is made up of over 200 ethnicities and 170 different places of birth. On top of that, the Black population is a very young population. In 2016, the Black population was younger than the total population in Canada. The median age for the Black population was just over 29 years of age, while it was over 40 years of age for the total population. Children under 15 years of age represented 26% of the Black population, while they only represented 16% of the total population. At the other end of the spectrum, 7.3% of the Black population were aged over 65 years and older, while it was over 15% for the total population. The statistics and numbers I've laid in front of you could be a little confusing and overwhelming, but community organizations such as the Griot in Me are really, really important to address this growing, diverse, and young population. Our organizations such as the Griot in Me help us remember our history, which is constantly not being talked about in our classrooms. It helps us create more networking spaces for people from different communities all over the city. And lastly, it creates opportunities for me, for myself and my colleagues via programs such as the Student Archivist Summer Program. Now, I'm going to go into closer focus and discuss the Black population in Ontario. Ontario is home to over half of the Black population. Ontario has quickly become a hub for Black culture. That is why establishments such as the Griot in Me are becoming a necessity in order to appeal to this growing community. Cities like Ottawa and Toronto see their Black population constantly rising as more and more newcomers and immigrants choose to call it home because they're able to find community here. As these communities grow, establishments such as the Griot in Me are quickly becoming a necessity. And that is why we need to continue to support and fuel the growth of this organization. Now I will pass it on to my colleagues, Whitney and Nicholas, who will be discussing similar organizations in our city.
Hello, my name is Whitney Mambu. Je m'appelle Whitney Mambu. Some of us looked through the Griot and Me's collection of the Spectrum and Contrast newspaper issues. We wrote on the backgrounds of these collections and categorized pages from different years and content lists to create a finding aid for each. Nous sommes passés à travers la collection des journaux, le spectre et contraste, gardés par le Griot en moi. Pour faire des aides à la recherche pour chacun, nous avons écrit sur le contexte des journaux et catégorisé leurs pages. I'd like to pass it on to Nicholas, who worked on the Contrast newspaper.
Thank you, Whitney. So, as stated, my name is Nicholas, and I will be talking about The Contrast. The Contrast newspaper is formed by Al Hamilton in 1969 Toronto. The Contrast was actually initially a newspaper known as the West Indian News Observer, which printed from 1967 to 1968. Once Mr. Hamilton took over, he asked his friends Olivia Grange and Harold Hoyt to assist him with the project. Al Hamilton felt that the Black community in Toronto was far too dispersed, and he wanted everyone to reconnect with each other. With the power of newsprint, Mr. Hamilton began a paper that focused solely on Black issues, Black people's interests, and Black events. The Contrast is known to publish harsh political opinion pieces and called the Black communities of Canada to take action against racial injustice. Al Hamilton considered the Contrast to be the environment of Black people in Toronto, hence the tagline, the eyes, ears, and voice of the community. Next slide, please. The Contrast insisted on helping Black people reach their full potential and enjoyed giving Black journalists jobs whenever they had an opening. Many Black Canadian journalists today say that they got their start with the Contrast. Those working at the Contrast believe very strongly in Nelson Mandela in the fight that he was leading in South Africa. Despite often having issues with securing advertisers, they refused to do business with any companies that had any sort of affiliation to the South African racist regime. They are human rights advocates, and they're determined in working together and using their platform to do as much good as they possibly could. In addition to onboarding Black employees of his own, Al Hamilton would often bring those he felt had real potential to other media outlets looking for journalists who would demand that they give whoever he had with them a shot. This often led to arguments and, on a few rare cases, the police would have to become involved. In the same vein, Al and his team liked to march down to local department stores and demand they hire more Black models for their catalogs, due to the fact that Black people wear clothes too. Next slide, please. And now here's some pictures of the contrast and what was considered headline news at the time. One of the major stories covered that interested me was the Sir George Williams University riot, which is pictured the third picture to the right. The Sir George Williams University riot, now Concordia University located in Montreal, was a riot that took place after 5 Black students decided to take action against the discriminatory grading practiced by their biology professor and barricaded themselves in the 9th floor computer lab for 13 days. During the standoff, the students threw computers, textbooks, and anything else that they could find in there out the window and sent them crashing into the cement ground below. This is one of the first stories that the Contrast got, taking place in 1969, the Contrast first year of operation, and it would go down in history as one of Canada's most intense racial disturbances. Another story that caught my eye was the Buddy Evans incident, which took place in 1978 Toronto. The altercation involved Andrew Buddy Evans being beaten and killed by 13 police officers for being a loudmouth. Some officers claim that he lunged at them with a knife, although no evidence has been found to support this. The police officer was exonerated, even though it was determined that there was excessive force used. This outraged the Black community and was extensively covered by the Contrast. These are the sort of issues that the Black community was faced with and is continuing to be faced with every day. Next slide, please. We looked over years of the Spectrum newspapers this summer and used a finding aid to organize it all. This is an example of an archival finding aid. The finding aid is a research tool used to categorize information found in various historical source documents. While the categories vary depending on what source you're using, for newspapers they're pretty straightforward. This finding aid consists of topics such as the title of the subject, the author of the subject, if available, and the type of the subject, so an article, picture, advertisement, etc. Many finding aids also include the date of publication and a description. Finding aids make it much easier for others to quickly find information on that specific subject and complete more extensive research. And before we move on to the Spectrum, we'd like to thank Zach Kriana for his donation of the Contrast collection. So back to Whitney.
So the Spectrum was the only community newspaper in Ottawa that had a specific focus on the Black community. Covering the many different experiences of Black people in Ottawa and beyond, the Spectrum produced a varied, nuanced portrait of the community for a dedicated audience. Founded in 1984 by Jamaican-born Ewart Walters, the Spectrum remained in print for 28 years before shutting down in 2013 due to a lack of funds and Walters' desire to concentrate on other writing projects. During its lifetime, the Spectrum played a crucial role in Ottawa media and Black Ottawa life by providing Black individuals a space to feel seen and connected to a community of encouragement, support, and awareness. Le Spectre était le seul journal communautaire d'Ottawa qui se focalisait sur la communauté noire. Il a été fondé par Ewart Walters en 1984 et a été fermé en 2013 à cause de manque de fonds et des autres projets d'écriture de Walters. Le journal a couvert une variété de sujets pour montrer la nuance de l'expérience des Noirs et donner aux Noirs l'espace pour se sentir reconnus et célébrés. Next slide, please. So some highlights, moments les plus marquants. The paper always recognized and celebrated Black individuals in life, not only once they left or passed away. So there's an article on a PhD student and Donna Neal receiving a Golden Recognition of Honor, but there's also articles on Bishop Nelson leaving and a memorial for Rosemary Brown. The articles from 2003 highlighted issues of today, such as police racial profiling, Black people demanding reparations from countries, and barriers faced by new immigrants like denied credentials. Les articles de 2003 parlaient des mêmes problèmes auxquels la communauté fait face aujourd'hui. The letters to the editor were from all over, which shows they had a wide readership. Les courriers des lecteurs venaient d'une large gamme d'endroits, so they came from Brooklyn, Lakewood, New Jersey, New York, Toronto, Victoria, British Columbia, from all over. Articles exposed the competing ideologies of Black people and of people of color in general. Les articles ont montré les idéologies concurrentes parmi les Noirs et les personnes de couleur. So there's an article at the bottom of the page called Bush's Blacks, Race Traitors, which speaks on that. There's an article on tips for encounters with the police. Il y avait un article qui a donné des conseils pour les rencontres avec les policiers. And also there were articles in Spanish which increased the accessibility of the paper. Le journal a augmenté son accessibilité en incluant des articles en espagnol. Next slide, please. And it was also nice to see the 20th anniversary celebration edition where they started to print in color. J'ai aimé voir le numéro du journal qui célébrait le 20e anniversaire du journal où ils ont commencé à imprimer en couleur. Next slide, please. So these are some pages from the finding aid, Les dans la recherche, that we made this summer with different years from different pages of the journal and titles of articles and advertisements and things like that. And these pages were digitized, and Hewitt Walters himself donated these pages, so we would like to thank him for this contribution. Hewitt Walters a fait un don de ces pages de journal, donc nous voudrions le remercier pour cette contribution. I would now like to pass it on to Galila, who will speak on the skills we learned this summer.
አመሰግናለሁ ዊትኒ ሰላም ስሜ ገሊላ ገረሙ ይባላል ከጉዮሬሚ ፕሮጀክት አሁን የማወራላችሁ በቆይታችን የተማርነው አንዳንድ ነገሮች ነው ተከታተሉን Thanks Whitney my name is Galila Garamo and I'll be talking about the skills that we learned here at the Guyoremi. There are many skills that we learned but there are 6 major skills that we would love to talk about. So the first skill is archiving. Archiving can be done both digitally and physically. Physically, archiving can include any newspapers, articles, posters, or any other handwritten documents collected from different people. And for the digital archiving, it might include any exhibitions, artwork, online documents, and many much more. The second skill is interviewing skills. These skills allowed us to be more confident, energetic, and on track when talking to others. By interviewing others, we were able to develop our communication skills, which include listening and responding carefully to the interviewer. Teamwork was also another skill that we learned here at the Guyoremi. This skill can be accomplished whether it's online or in person. Being able to come up with different ideas as a group will make the work easier and more professional. The rest of the skills will be presented by my colleague Mercy, and I will pass it to her.
Abite nitwa Mercy kandi ndaza kuvuga muri skills zitatu za nyuma. Thank you very much Galila and my name is Mercy and I'll be presenting the other 3 skills. The first one being computer skills. Computer skill is one of the most used skills we learned in the Guyoremi. We use this skill for different purposes. For example, to type in documents in Google Docs or Word Microsoft, to be able to do graphic designs, to use different social media, especially Zoom, for communication purposes, and many other activities that will allow us to do more work in less time. Another one is researching, which was also another important skill that we learned. At the Guyoremi, we were researching and documenting oral and written history that is accessible, inclusive, respectful, informational, and intentional. We did some research on Afro-descendant archives in North America. We also did some research on Charles L. Bloxton collection and Pan-African Coalition of Canada. The last one is work ethic. Having an excellent work ethic is one of the skills that we learned in the Guyoremi. At this point in the middle of a pandemic where everyone has a lot of things going on, to dedicate our energy, time, and everything, we have to do this job without lacking motivation is one of the reasons that help us to achieve and accomplish our goal. For the next slide, I will pass it on to my friend Charlotte.
Thank you, Mercy. Jambo, mimi naitwa Charlotte and kama Galila amesema Guyoremi ni study ya kwanza, so hapa tuko na interview na Gailey Jensen. Hello, my name is Charlotte and as Galila said, being in the Guyoremi is interviewing is one of the skills that we learned, and here we have an interview with Gailey Jensen.
Gailey Jensen, she's a poet, spoken word artist, and today we're getting to know her story and how she's where she is as a Black artist.
So I am
born and raised in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Early childhood for me was, I was very community oriented. So I was very social. I was always about finding different activities to do in my community. Early childhood, I was an avid reader and writer. But yeah, I guess I would just say I was somebody who loved being in my community. Yeah, when I was younger, I originally wanted to be a singer because I thought I could sing. I thought I had like superstar talent. I thought I was a really good dancer. I'm none of those things. But yeah, and I also wanted to be a teacher. So another thing that I used to pretend, especially amongst my friends, was that I always had my own class. The environment played a role in what I wanted to be because in any aspect of work that I do, I'm always inspired by my community. So coming from North End, Dartmouth, which a lot of people deem inner city, low income, there's always a lot of negative stereotypes and stigmas that are attached with coming from that community. So growing up and really being involved in writing and storytelling, I kind of always wanted to give Dartmouth a different perspective. I also wanted to push the mold and showing people from my community that they could be anything they wanted to be. I am a writer, a published author, spoken word artist, a community advocate. I just finished working with the Griot in Me project. I was co-manager of the project. I was in charge of a lot of things behind the scenes, so a lot of the admin stuff, as well as managing the team and tasks, and then a lot of stuff to do with our social presence. Anybody that is interested in knowing or understanding the Griot in Me, I would want them to know the importance of preserving and knowing their history so that it could move the next generation forward. And then we would also be able to build community, which would mean more resources for everybody, like accessibility. Advice that I would give them, any aspiring artists or writers, is to be authentic. So to be true to yourself, because people can spot a fake really fast. To be consistent and to be fearless. So all of my books are available on Chapters and Indigo. I do sell some independently. So right now I have my second book, Afraid of the Dark. So if you would like to purchase, you can hit me up on Facebook at Guy Wu Johnson. On Instagram, you can find me, The Female Poetic Hawk. And I do have a website. Like if you Google me, Guy Wu Johnson, all of that will come up, and then it will give you like separate links to it all. Also, if you ever went into an independent bookstore, you can always request for them to order my book in.
And now I'll pass it to my colleague, Janessa.
All right, thank you. Hi, my name is Janessa. I'm going to talk about the collections gathered briefly. So you guys agree with me, one of the most crucial parts of the archive is the preservation of collections that we can obtain from individuals and organizations who are willing to donate. So this is so that in future generations, when people wish to learn about the history of the Black community in the Ottawa-Gatineau area, they'll have a place that is safe and welcoming to do so. So when they wish to learn and understand about what life was like for past generations, all of that information will be together in the same place, right at their fingertips, easy to find. So some of the collections that we are in need of include newspapers, advertisements, documents, books, photos, files, or anything else that could provide an insight on the history of the Ottawa-Gatineau's Black community. So during this time, we, the student archivists, have reached out to and been in contact with many organizations and people who have had valuable collections to give to us so that we can receive them and preserve them. Not only this, but we have already heard back from a large portion of those people. So I'm going to pass it on to Giannis, who's just going to talk about those people briefly.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Jonas, and I'll be speaking about the collection that we have gathered so far. So the organization that we have gathered so far are Maya Spoken, Black Ottawa Students, African Canadian Association of Ottawa, Kakuya Sunday, Miss Clark, and Anna Art. Please donate if you can. This will help these organizations a lot and could benefit the youth in the next generation coming forward. Thank you, and I will pass it to Alexandra.
Hi, my name is Layla, and I'll be appealing to the community for more collections. So like said before, the Garad and Me has reached out to different people in the Black community in the Ottawa-Gatineau region and asked them to donate some of their collections. Now we are currently reaching out to the community to gather more materials to add them in our archives. These can vary from items like documents that help us tell your story, artifacts items that will be put on display, geographic scope, or some other common characteristics. We believe that working together as a community to collect more resources will help us get closer to one of our goals. You can be part of the Garad and Me and help us preserve our history and engage in our storytelling. If you know someone or would be interested to donate and share your story, again, collections can be in the form of newspapers, magazines, articles, art, photos, videos, books, paintings, objects, etc. The collections that you donate can benefit any future researchers or even the future generations. So if you own an organization or a personal collection that you think would be a good fit for this project, to donate, you can either fill out the form on our website, email us, or call us. Now I will pass it on to my colleague Alex, who will do the translation in French. Je vais maintenant passer la parole à ma collègue Alex, qui va faire la traduction en français.
Merci Leila, je m'appelle Alexandra Putonzi et je voudrais vous parler de l'appel à la communauté pour une donation de plus de collections. Urakoze Leila, nitwa Putonzi ni Alexandra, hama nashaka kusaba intererano zishobora kudufasha kubandanya igikorwa twatanguye. Le gagnant en mois a contacté différentes personnes dans la communauté noire dans la région d'Ottawa ou Gatineau pour qu'ils puissent soumettre leur collection. Ces collections peuvent varier d'articles tels que des documents qui nous aident à raconter notre histoire, des objets d'artefacts qui seront exposés, une portée géographique ou d'autres caractéristiques communes. Nous demandons maintenant de l'aide de la communauté pour assembler plus de collections afin de les afficher dans nos archives. Il y a tous un griot dans nous et vous pouvez nous aider à préserver l'histoire des Noirs et de célébrer notre héritage en tant que communauté. Les collections que vous donnez pourraient profiter à tous les futurs chercheurs et même aux générations futures. Alors, si vous avez une organisation, connaissez quelqu'un et serez intéressé à partager une collection personnelle pour partager votre histoire, vous pouvez soit remplir le formulaire sur notre site web, nous envoyer un courriel ou nous appeler. Merci. Thank you.
Here are some of the pictures of the student archivists at the office.
Gracias por escuchando. Puedas conectar en el Griot en Me vía Facebook y el proyecto Griot en Me. Ovidetaño 12635 Montreal Road. Thank you for listening. You can connect with us via the Griot and Me project website or at the Griot or via Facebook, the Griot and Me, or visit us in person at 235 Montreal Road.
Nous vous remercions pour votre patience et vos futures donations. Si vous avez des questions ou voudrez avoir plus d'informations sur le Griot en moi, veuillez visiter notre page Facebook ou de Griot in Me Project ou visiter notre bureau au 235 rue Montréal. Merci.
As you can see, throughout the Griot in Me project, we had the chance to meet, work with, and interview truly dynamic and talented young people. Their stories are shared on our website, and you can watch them at the end of the ceremony. But for now, one of these artists, Rendara, has prepared a special performance in honor of the graduates. Here it is.
Excusez-moi. Tout au long du projet Créer en moi, nous avons eu la chance de rencontrer et d'interviewer des jeunes vraiment dynamiques et talentueux. Leurs histoires sont partagées sur notre site web où vous pouvez les regarder à la fin de la cérémonie. Mais pour l'instant, l'un de ces artistes, Rendara, a préparé une performance spéciale en l'honneur des diplômés. Sans plus tarder, voilà la vidéo.
Salut à tous, mon nom est Nadwindara Muscadin, plus connue sous le nom de Rendara. Je suis chanteuse, compositrice, interprète, artiste. Je suis présentement étudiante en éducation spécialisée. Et c'est pour moi un plaisir, un honneur d'avoir été choisie par Griot en moi pour être votre porte-parole aujourd'hui. Tout d'abord, je tiens à vous dire félicitations car vous avez accompli votre objectif. Ce qui en dit beaucoup sur vous. La réussite pour vous est un choix. Dans la vie, on fait souvent face à des défis. Mais rappelez-vous d'une chose. Vous êtes la seule personne qui peut vous empêcher de surmonter ces défis. L'important, c'est ce que vous avez à offrir au monde. Si tu as un rêve, une vision, un objectif, fonce. Façonne-le et fonce. Entoure-toi de gens qui croient en toi. Être différent est un don. Sois toi-même. Fais de tes origines et de ton identité ta force. Et pour finir, je dirais une dernière chose. L'amour, c'est comme l'oxygène. Il nous garde en vie. On a tous le pouvoir de donner vie à chaque jour. Quoi que tu fasses, où que tu sois, fais-le avec amour. C'est le secret d'une vie bien vécue. Merci et je te souhaite que du succès sur ton chemin.
And now for her performance. Maintenant pour sa performance.
Devant les épreuves, les difficultés, je resterai le poing levé. Une vie, une histoire, de l'amour, de l'espoir, le meilleur de moi pour toi. Avancer, surmonter mes difficultés, à chaque fois me relever, crier ma liberté. Espérer, rire de joie et de fierté, afficher mon identité, crier ma liberté. Décider, valoriser ta liberté, t'as le pouvoir de métamorphoser, de transformer ta destinée. Oh, lève-toi, des exploits, offre le meilleur de toi. Avancer, surmonter tes difficultés, à chaque fois te relever, et ta liberté. Rempli de joie et de fierté, afficher ton identité, et ta liberté. Rien au monde ne pourra arrêter la passion que j'ai pour donner, aimer. La passion que j'ai pour donner,
Wow, thank you, Rendara, for this performance. I hope everyone watching has enjoyed watching it too. So, what is a griot? A griot is a storyteller, someone who preserves our heritage and recognition of our community. They can be singers, poets, musicians, or authors. Throughout history, there has been many Canadian griots, and the next video will showcase them.
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'un griot? Un griot est un conteur qui préserve l'héritage et la reconnaissance de notre communauté. Ils peuvent être des chanteurs, des poètes, des musiciens ou des auteurs. Tout au long de l'histoire, il y a eu de nombreux griots noirs canadiens. La prochaine vidéo en présentera quelques-uns.
So often, when we think of storytelling, the first idea that comes to mind is a book. Because of this, we have a special guest, Marlène Choulout-Hippolyte, who will read a passage from a French book called Lettres d'Iphé et de Soul, written by a Black author, Michel-Ange Hippolyte from Gatineau, Ottawa. This book is available in both French and English.
Et maintenant, lorsqu'on pense à la narration, la première idée qui nous vient souvent à l'esprit est un livre. Pour cette raison, nous avons une invitée spéciale, Marlène Choulout-Hippolyte, qui lira un passage du livre Lettres d'Iphé et de Soul, écrit par un auteur noir, Michel-Ange Hippolyte, de Gatineau, Ottawa. Ce livre est disponible à la vente en anglais et en français.
J'aimerais porter une correction. Le livre est écrit en créole haïtien et traduit du français et de l'anglais. L'écrivain est un académicien et il y tient. Hein?
Ah, d'accord, ok.
Alors, le titre, c'est We Are a Source of Energy en anglais et je vais vous lire la partie française. Each human being is a source of energy moving through the universe. The more positive the energy, the more it allows us to grow, giving us further strength to move forward in the whirlwind of a dream-like world. Creative force of the spirit is the most marvelous resource that we human beings possess in order to transform matter. The more we give into reason, the more our thoughts, our hopes, and our dreams will be encased in powerful, positive energy. Each time these words illuminate my spirit, a stream of ideas open my eyes on the road we have traveled so far in our lives. We learn how to soar with each updraft, motionless, in which case our travel moves along a direction we had already chosen. Whatever means we have at our disposal, motion equals learning. And learning never stops learning. Since human beings never stop learning, one can consider our trip a constant motion in time and space. Our primordial role is to build this happy and healthy world with those near and far who are traveling to find the means to build their own life. Whatever the scale of our dreams to sculpt beauty into the stone of love, whatever the rhythms of words of love that add polish to the crystal of their dreams, whatever the heights that must be climbed to paint the aquarelle of their hope, as long as they show willpower, we must stand and proffer a helping hand. Each monument of hope they raise in a spirit of goodness, each masterpiece created with wisdom is a reflection of achievement of a community that keeps on making strides in the daily struggle to cross the river and move further and further during our passage on earth. Each one of us is a link in the necklace of life. Each time one of us is made to feel because of an act of malice, all of us fall victims to the chaos that builds up. Each time we step into the limelight, we pave a new path for those who come behind and follow in our footsteps. Let's keep on seeking the light faithfully without being blinded by foolish pride. You can't travel the highways of life without some kind of help. Think of ours as a limitless trip where the finish line, if we have to think of one, is the grave. We all get there a precise instant. When it comes to that, everyone will benefit from our deeds. As well, if we learn to give guidance to others, the whole load of human lives will become lighter during our trip on the blue planet. Nous sommes une source d'énergie. Chaque être humain est une source d'énergie qui se meut dans l'univers. Plus l'énergie s'avère positive, plus elle nous permet de grandir, plus elle nous donne la force d'avancer dans la splendeur d'une spirale de songes qui se déploie en un monde merveilleux. Comme on le sait tous, la force créatrice de l'esprit est l'une des plus belles ressources que nous, les humains, possédions pour transformer la matière. Dès lors, plus nous marchons sur les traces de notre bon ange, plus nos pensées, nos espérances, nos rêves seront dotés d'une telle puissance que celle-ci nous plonge dans le flux d'un champ d'énergie positive. À chaque fois que ces propos illuminent mon esprit, m'arrive un jet d'idées propices qui m'ouvre les yeux aux diverses étapes des routes de la vie que nous avons franchies. Quelle que soit la gamme de rêves choisis pour ciseler de beaux galets d'amour, quels que soient les mots d'amour modulés pour polir les vitres de leurs songes, quel que soit le sommet à gravir pour peindre l'aquarelle de leurs espoirs, dès que la force de leur volonté s'y prête, il nous incombe de nous mettre debout pour les soutenir. Chaque monument d'espoir qu'ils ont bâti, chaque chef-d'œuvre par eux réalisé, c'est nous tous ensemble, en tant que communauté humaine, qui faisons des brasses dans le fleuve du vécu quotidien pour nous approcher de notre idéal durant notre passage sur Terre. Chacun de nous est un maillon de la grande chaîne de la vie. À chaque fois que l'un de nous est tenu en échec suite à quelque manœuvre malicieuse, tous nous en subissons les contre-coups. De même, à chaque fois que l'un de nous marche vers la lumière, il trace un chemin susceptible d'attirer tous ceux qui le suivront. Continuons à chercher la lumière avec foi, sans aveuglement ni orgueil. La route de la vie n'est pas une voie où l'on chemine sans entraide. Nous devons toujours penser que nous sommes dans un voyage sans limite. Son point final, si nous devons lui en attribuer un, c'est la tombe. Tous, nous devons y arriver à un moment précis. Le jour où cela se produira, chacun de nous pourra récolter les fruits de nos bonnes actions. C'est tout de même si l'on apprend à accompagner les autres, c'est toute la charge des vies humaines qui s'allégera au cours de notre voyage sur la planète bleue. Merci.
Thank you, Marlene, for this beautiful and inspiring reading. You gave us all things to think about and reminding us that we need to stick together and be kind to each other. Thank you. Now, I would like to present a video of griots from here, from the Black community of Gatineau, Ottawa. Some of them were interviewed by members of the Griot in Me, and the full version of their interview is available on our website. So now I'm leaving you to it. Enjoy the next video.
All right. Merci Marlène pour cette belle lecture. Maintenant, j'aimerais vous présenter une vidéo des griottes d'ici, de la communauté noire d'Ottawa et Gatineau. Certains d'entre eux ont été interviewés par les membres de l'équipe. La version complète de leurs entretiens est disponible sur notre site web. Profitez de la prochaine vidéo. Et maintenant, on va la jouer.
My name is Stefan Keys.
Hey everyone, my name is Paula Whitelock.
Hi, my name is Joseph Zedin.
Hi everyone, I'm Faye.
Hi, my name is Ken Campbell.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Abel Maxwell.
I'm Abigail Wilson-Jules. My name is Apel Loire.
My name is Bob Dawson. Hubert Walters. Lynn Puckrin. Johnson King.
Paula Wallace.
Curtis Bozette.
Irène Dara.
Eddie Garnier. Mohamed Kamara.
R.L. Mapiancina.
Eric Sarah. Victor Paulo. Raoul Gospel. Patrice Laurent. Francis Jeffrey.
Hélène Gabriel.
To Jacob Mountain.
You're tuning into.
Boyarty.
You're tuning into the griot in me. The griot in me.
Great to meet you.
Griot en moi. To the griot in me. Le griot en moi. The griot in me.
Le griot en moi. To the griot in me.
Griot in me.
The griot in me.
right. Thanks so much to everyone for sticking with us till this point. We are nearing the end of the event, the ceremony rather. This next clip, which we will be playing, is some laughable moments. We call the Grad bloopers. Some few things that happened behind the scenes that kind of made us laugh and we enjoyed filming, and we hope that you enjoyed it as well. And without further ado, let's play the video.
Hi everyone, this is Michelle Wallace. I'm talking to you live.
No, we're not live. No, we're not live. Oh my God!
Cut, reframe, edit.
Hi, I'm Joseph Zayden, and you're tuning in to Griot and You.
Hello, my name is Bishop R.L. McEwen Sr., and I'm watching The Grill in Me. What? You are watching. Yeah, that's what I said. No, you said I am. It's the people watching you.
Je vais dire la griotte en moi.
Hi everyone, I'm Faye and you're watching The Grind with Me. Thanks for... Oh my gosh, okay.
That is not correct.
Everyone, I'm Faye, you're watching The Grind Me. The Grind Me.
Oh! No! No! Hi, my name is Joel Zayden, and what? The grill? The grut? 2 hours later. Oh, the grill and me.
Oh shit. Are you still taping? Yes. Oh shit.
And finally, we do what we call a Wujama market. Wujama market.
Meaning going straight to what I believe and what I wanted to do. Beat. But we gotta just find it deep down and go through it. So never mind the phone.
Okay, let me just put this on silent.
Hi everyone, my name is Andy, and you are on the Griot in Me challenge. Underground challenge. Oh my god, my password is 0000000. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. That's
Oh my god. Listen.
I'll probably go home and think of all these things and I should have said this and I should have said that when I get home.
I was trying to convince her that iPhone takes better pictures. Yeah, it does.
But
And
yeah, but the people
with
are
one picture, I was able to convince her.
People who are Android are. Avez-vous une brosse à cheveux pour que je déplace mes cheveux?
It's all good.
Ça va?
Want to make $1 million? No, I'm just kidding.
Hi everyone, my name is Andy, and you are on the Griot in Me chat. Ah!
You guys are gonna laugh your head off when you look at this tape.
Hi everyone, my name is Andy, and you are on the Griot in Me channel. Today I have the pleasure to meet Victor Polo, a great influencer in the city. You gotta redo that one. You caught yourself halfway through.
I hope that's on pause right now because I'm about to think of that one. The Griot to me.
Now we play the waiting game.
Stop on it.
Well, the way griot that I think it is a Haitian dish that I've had at the Haitian restaurant. And it was actually really good. Le griot en moi, c'est la voix de la sagesse qui s'exprime. Le griot en moi, c'est le conteur qui te rappelle certains principes de la loi, de l'existence à travers du satire, du lire et de la réflexion, de l'éducation et de la pensée, l'éveil de la conscience et de l'existence autour de la persistance et de l'endurance face à certaines difficultés de la vie. Le griot en moi, c'est ma voix. Le griot en moi, c'est ma pensée. Le griot en moi, c'est l'art, c'est la culture. Le griot en moi, c'est la musique. Le griot en moi, c'est le tambour qui sonne. Le griot en moi, tu vois, c'est la femme que j'élève. C'est la femme qui prend soin de ses enfants. C'est la femme qui se met debout le matin et qui dit, écoute, c'est le temps de faire ce que tu dois faire parce que demain, nous comptons sur toi. Le griot en moi, c'est celui-là qui dit aux gens, écoute, respecte, écoute, évolue. Mais avant que tu sois respecté, respecte-toi toi-même. Et puis sache où tu vas parce que si tu ne sais pas où tu vas, n'importe qui va te dire d'aller n'importe où. Je m'arrête là.
You got this.
I like this.
Okay, so I gotta look that way. Make sure you try that griot.
Now, Luke, would you? 1 second. Seems like Luke is.
Right. I was laughing so hard that I forgot to turn my camera on. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, to participate and to watch in the show. I hope you have fun. You enjoyed the moment. I would like also to thank you to all the team because of you, I don't think I will able to finish this project if the team was not there. And also, I would like to thank you also to all the students who graduate the class 2020, the Griot and me. Also with you guys, with the great project you do, I'm very proud of you. So until next year, we will present you the next series of the Griot. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night. Thank you.